Welcome to this episode where I'm going to tell you about the reasons why I'm going to leave the UK. So the first reason, which is most important, is about family ties. As you know, on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it is very important to have a sense of belonging. And because we are of African origin, we belong to very big families. And it's very difficult to exist in a silo where your aunt is not there, your grandmother is not there, your uncle is not there, your cousin is not there, your great-great-grandmother is not there, your great-great-great-uncle is not there. It is very difficult. You feel so alienated, you feel so lost. And not to mention that these people cannot come over. Of course, in some cases, after submitting a lot of paperwork, they can come, but it is very difficult. You can't get a visa for your cousin, you can't get a visa for your sibling, you can't get a visa for your child, your sister's child, even though you're close to them. As for me, I was staying with my little sisters. Their kids, both of them, were born in my house. And I asked for the kids from their parents, the mom and the dad, and they agreed. And I raised them like my own. They were born in my house. I was staying with them until the oldest was about 8 and the second one was about 6. They were calling me mom, but when it came to that point where I had to migrate to the UK, I had to leave them behind. And up to now, I cannot bring them over because they are not my biological children. So the family ties, they are a very important aspect in our African culture. Not to mention our aging parents. Our parents are growing old. They were all their faith is in us, that we're supposed to take care of them as they age. But because of the global migration and stuff, they are remaining alone back at home. Alone, and they're going to die loners with no one to look after them. That is one of the plights of many African children and African parents. And that is not something that goes down well with most of us, Africans and Indians. I've observed that the Indian culture and the African culture, they are more similar with regards to the family context. The way they value their family network is just so tremendous. And the second reason being, it is very difficult to maintain close-knit families in the diaspora. Of course, we spend 12 hours, we spend 7 days stuck in the same house because you can't go outside, it's cold. I'll be having my husband and my 3 children all under the same roof. But because we have spent so much time together for the past 3 years, everyone goes to their own room so that they can be on their phone and they try to link with the outside world. They grow tired of seeing the same old faces 24/7. So you'll find that my son is having playing games online with some friends from all over the world. I don't know these games that they play online. Like they'll be playing and making a team online. My daughter is on TikTok live sessions, Facebook live sessions, YouTube videos, whatever. Trying to connect with the outside world. My husband will be on the phone, on the WhatsApp groups. I'll be on the phone with the other WhatsApp groups, or I'll be busy with my assignments, or I'll be trying to rest from work or whatever. So you'll find that it will be difficult to bond, even though you stay under the same roof. But you spend most of the time in different rooms. Then the most distressing part is the weather. You only have about 20 to 30 days of sunshine in the UK. Even though it will be sunny, you will still have to wear a jacket when it's sunny. You cannot go and wear a short vest and those string tops and sleeveless tops outside. Of course, the white people, the British people, they're used to the weather. You see them jogging outside in snowy weather, wearing short pants and sleeveless vests. If I go out in that weather like that, I'll just freeze and turn into a small ice lolly, and I will just freeze over. Because we were created to adapt to certain types of weather, which is not the cold. Definitely not the cold. I know God created me, but definitely for a warmer environment, not the cold weather. Then the other thing is the food. We cannot do away with our African food. As for us from Zimbabwe, we eat our Zimbabwean staple food, which is salsa, green vegetables, beef, chicken and fish, and most preferably organic food. Organic food which is not GMO and stuff. We are used to slaughtering our own chickens, getting our own vegetables from the garden, not buying vegetables from the shop. That is an alien culture to us. Not using tinned tomatoes. We don't do that. We have to go and pluck our own tomatoes from the tomato plant. If you are buying from a vendor, we know that vendor got those tomatoes from a certain farmer in Lower Gweru or in Chiweshe or somewhere else. Not like a processed tomato cut into small pieces, like pegged in a tin. We will not eat that. So you'll find that having to buy organic food in the UK is very, very, very expensive. Very expensive. I'll talk about our weekly meal, right? We need a 10 kg bag of mealie meal, which costs about £20. We need vegetables, and about 3 or 4 leaves of wrap will cost you £1.50 or £2.50. Or you have to drive miles and miles away, like 20-30 pounds worth of fuel, to find an African shop which sells mealie meal. We need beef. The organic beef is about 10, 12, 13 pounds per kg. And for a full week, we need about 5 kgs of that beef. So that's about £100 in meat, vegetables, and tomatoes alone. And then the mealie meal is £20, not to mention the cost of cooking oil, salt, other spices, and other things, as well as the breakfast, the lunch. I just spoke of supper only. Like they call it tea here, like the evening meal. There's breakfast, there's lunch, there's supper. So a simple meal of supper for a full week will need about £120-130. If we add on breakfast and stuff, we need about £200 per week for groceries for a family of 5. So for a full month, you need about £800 to £1,000 of groceries in the UK if we are going to be eating our own African food. Even the fish, they're about £15 a kg, and a kg has got about 3 fish. But for the locals, it is easy because they can just have a cup of coffee, have a cigarette, have a sandwich, which is just about like 2 or 3 slices of bread with cheese and ham, and they are fine. Or just a bowl of soup and they go to bed. I cannot survive on a bowl of soup. No. If I'm having a cup of tea or coffee, I need to have a sandwich on the side. They'll just have a plain cup of coffee and it's fine with them. So you will find that food, or they can eat out, just go buy their own £20 or £15 plate of food. It will be a lot. They don't eat much because they snack a lot, unlike us. So food is very expensive for African families. Then we go on to the cost of traveling to Zimbabwe. For me and my family, like I said, I've got my husband and my 3 children. For me alone, I need about 1,000 to go to Zimbabwe and come back. So at least we'll go once a year. That's about 3, 4, 5,000 for the whole family. Times how many years? You'll see that all the profits and all the savings that would have worked for are just forfeited in airfare. So it does not make sense to be working here and slaving away, sorry to use that word, but working so hard, working your butt off just to save airfare to go and see your family. And then when you get there, you've got no money to give them. When you come back, you've got no money as savings. It's so disheartening. And worst case scenario is because it's expensive to travel as a family. Only one of us can sacrifice to go once a year. And that means my kids cannot meet their grandparents. My husband cannot meet his in-laws. He cannot meet his family either if I go. You see? So it becomes a difficult situation for all of us. Then the cost of living itself has gone so high. I've been here for more than 3 years now, but I'll tell you that the price of buses went from £1.30 to £1.50 to £1.80 to £2. Now the bus is £3. Rentals are and everything else increases every year in April, but the salaries do not increase. If the salaries are increasing, they're increasing by 20 cents or 30 cents. Like if you're earning £10.20 per hour, if they're increasing the salary, it's going to be £10.23 or £10.30. That's the salary increase that you expect. But as for the inflation, it grows by over 200-300%. Fuel itself is costing £1.70, which is equivalent to $2 back in my country. So I find the cost of living is so expensive. A decent house, a decent 3-bedroom house, is costing an average of £1,000 per month, and you have to make sure 50% of the rent is also equivalent to the bills, council tax, and stuff. So you see that a family of 5 would need about 1.7, 1.8 for rent and bills, add groceries. So it's so difficult. So and then you imagine for how many years, of course. Then, like I said, the cost of traveling to Zimbabwe, I'm going back to that point. As Africans, it is inevitable for us to travel to Zimbabwe. We will have to travel. There's going to be funerals, there's going to be rora and weddings and other social events, kurova guva and all those things, kugovahembe and all those things, where you specifically need to be there because you're the oldest child or you are whatever. So you would need to go back to your country at one point in time. These social events are there all year round. Especially in August, all families meet for traditional ceremonies. So you can't be missing from all those funerals. So and so has died, you can't afford to go. So and so has died again, you can't afford to go. So and so has died again, and you still can't afford to go. You have to go and attend the funerals at one point, and that is so expensive. And the next reason is because of this age that we're approaching, most of us are 40 and above. We need to start working towards a retirement plan. You build your small rural home, buy your kettle, you have your small grinding mill or your small rural shop or whatever investment you want to have, or whatever investments you left back at home. Some had built houses, some had started small businesses. Constantly you have to go and safeguard those assets and those ventures, otherwise you come back to an empty pot. So that pushes you to travel, so that will eventually lead you back home, because you need to go and look after your investments. You can't just leave them after working so hard for them. Then, like I told you, that the bond with children is being affected largely by the confined environments. Even the husband himself, things start to become a bit tense, because back in Zimbabwe, our husbands would go out, socialize, go to the beer halls, go and play soccer, amabuza and stuff, go and visit, go to the farm, go all over, you see. But now you're forced to stay 24/7 under the same roof. And you start to notice that sometimes your hair is not made, sometimes you sweep the house late, you cook late, and this, and the fighting never ends. So marriages are strained. And on the contrary, when you go to work, you have to work opposite shifts. The husband does night shift, the wife does day shift, so that you can take care of school run, childcare, and everything. So that alone strains the marriage, because there are few nights where you have to sleep on the same bed on the same day. Just have to be opposite shifts, opposite timelines. Then the other thing, as I mentioned, that the weather is extremely cold here. You end up having diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, backache, vitamin D deficiency, depression, because you are not in a good state of physical and mental and emotional and social health. You begin to suffer a lot of things. And most of my people are now taking sertraline, which is an antidepressant. Most of them. When we were growing up, we knew that the UK aunties would shout on the phone hours on end, that they would easily be irritated, those UK aunties. Now I understand why they would easily be irritated. Now I know. It's because of the stressful environment and what they are going through to take care of the family back at home. So my advice would be, at one point, work, and plan on an exit strategy to go back home. Then the other reason is the work pattern itself. You have to work for a certain number of hours. Most of them are 12, 13, 14-hour shifts. And you have to be on your foot. I laughed when I got to my first ward in Bournemouth. There were only 2 chairs on the ward. 2 chairs, one for the nurse who is writing the report, one for the doctor. 2 chairs in the ward, which meant that the whole 12 hours there was nowhere for you to sit. If you were to sit, you'd go and sit next to a patient's bed. Either you're feeding him or you're chatting with the patient or whatever. You can't just sit quietly and rest or just relax for 5 minutes at work. Because every hour is paid for. Every minute is paid for. So you have to be working every second of the clock. And we are not used to that. I can't say much about our African work pattern, but things are completely different over here. Believe you me, if you're someone who's got low muscle tone, you know what I mean. If you're a nurse, I don't think you'd find this place so stressful to work in. Then the work culture itself, I'll talk about this. What I know is, if I do something wrong, or if I say something wrong, or if Mary says something wrong to me about my hair or whatever, then I'm not happy. I'll have to talk to Mary first. Oh, Mary, what you said to me, I did not like it. And Mary will say, okay, sorry, Essie, I didn't know. And then we move on. Or Mary will go and report to the manager that Essie did this and this, and the manager will call me and Mary together and try to mediate or whatever, get us to get to an understanding, the both of us. But it's different from this country. If I go and report Mary, there is no time to call Mary and like mediate, find out a side of the story or whatever. No. You see a meeting, a hearing, and this, and this, and this, and this. And there is constant reporting. Every hour or every minute of the day, if you peep into the manager's office, there will be someone sitting there reporting someone. I do not know how things work, but in all my life, I've always known that you go into the manager's office only if you have a serious and life-threatening problem. But it's so different here. I don't know, maybe it's what they call the open door policy. But what I've realized, such a work culture causes anxiety, depression, self-doubt, low self-esteem, and all those, and conflict, and all those things, and aggression in the workplace and everything. Because it's like, watch your back, watch your back, watch your back, watch your back. You know, someone is after you every minute. So that kind of work culture is not really healthy. It's kind of toxic. Then, as for career growth, I will not say much. But you'll find that, let's say you came to the UK as a carer, then you want to do a degree in nursing, which is going to take you 4 years and cost you about 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pounds for you to complete that degree. A carer is earning about 1.8, 2,000, 2,200 pounds. A qualified nurse is earning 2,000, 2.5, 2.8 pounds. So you have to, and when you're a nurse, there's not much difference. Even if you're promoted to become a band 6 or band 7, it's only the difference about 200, 300 pounds. And the higher you rise, the more responsibility you have. The more you're chucked onto the firing line. You see? Unlike back at home, when you know that you're promoted, it means that you are getting more money for less work. You see? But here, the person who is getting less money does less work. They pay you according to your work. They always say, work your pay grade. The more you earn, the more you work. That's how it is. So as for career progression, I don't think it's that promising. And even the prospects of what you're going to become after band 5, after band 6 or band 7. Let me end there. Then, as for religion, it's so difficult to find a church, which is like our churches back at home, where you pray and you really feel that you're in spirit, you're so close to God, you can hear God whispering in your ear and everything. Yeah, it's so difficult. I used to go to the Catholic and Methodist churches here. The pastors would just be whispering, oh, you know, God loves you. You know, the love of God, our Father, is this. Let's just praise God. Hello? Our African demons need something stronger than the whispering. They need someone who is like, fire, Holy Ghost, fire, come out. And then you feel like, wow, the demon has left me. Of course. So you feel that you are lacking spiritually. You are having malnutrition spiritually because of the environment. Then, the peace of mind, you do not have peace of mind. That is the very same reason why we left Africa. Especially as for me. That's the very reason why I left Zimbabwe. You'd be told in Zimbabwe, you'd be told that you're gonna get your salary is $500. Come month end, there's a new statutory instrument which is prohibiting people from withdrawing foreign currency. Or you go to the bank, they are limiting the withdrawals for cash to $50 a day or $100 a day, or there is no cash at all. A lot of things changing. And like I said, people, according to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you need to feel like you belong, you need to feel like security, you need to be assured of the position where you are. So if it's the situation or the environment is ever changing or evolving faster than you can turn your head, that gives you stress and a lot of uncertainty towards the future. So as I see it, UK is slowly turning into what we ran away from, because every day on the news they are bringing in new laws. And as you know, the UK politicians are different from our African ones. Our African ones, when they are campaigning in their manifesto, they'll be saying, we're going to be giving you jobs, we're going to be giving you electricity, water, better treatment, blah, 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 better roads and everything. But here, when they campaign, they talk about migrants. They do not offer people jobs, they do not offer people clean water, they do not offer people electricity 24/7. They talk of migrants. World over, USA, Sweden, Canada, Australia, everywhere else, they talk of migrants. So the migrant is never safe in a foreign land. So it's not a place where you can like fully relax and let life take care of itself. You're always peeping, looking, like, checking your back and stuff, watching the news. What is this new law? Am I safe? Am I gonna, is my citizenship not gonna be revoked next year? What is it? What is this? What is this? So you get to a point here which your heart is now weak. You can't withstand all that stress and all that pressure. You just need to be a place where you know that the sun is definitely gonna set tomorrow and it's definitely gonna rise again, where you are definite of things. Then the other reason being, as you grow older here in the UK, there's no one to take care of you at home, unlike the way we take care of our parents. Back at home, we take care of our elderly parents. Our old grannies died in our hands. We were washing them, feeding them, doing everything. Even though I was going to work, it was so flexible that I could take care of her, work and take care of her. But here, because you're working